which is raw. Nobody else has seen it in the world, ever. So it's fresh and exciting. And may I introduce Abel Ferrara.
Come back to that. All right, okay, so the deal was we were going to show the addiction year at 2. That was the first.
Yes.
Okay, but I was supposed to bring the movie. It's a little strange because the director doesn't usually bring the movie to the projection. But I don't have the movie because I didn't know I was supposed to bring it. Okay, so we're going to resolve that issue. For anybody who really wants to see the addiction. Yeah. You guys just come and see me. All right, so now we don't have the addiction. So
Tomorrow.
well, we don't have it now. Okay, so we don't have it. Q&A on something I didn't expect to show. All right, so hit me back with something. Somebody got something to say. It doesn't have to be a question here. It doesn't have to be a question. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, not so much questions, but
Yeah.
a lot of your films,
Yeah.
a lot of your films over the years, I've been familiar with your work since Driller Killer.
Right.
And as a kid in a video store, I was petrified of the video art so much it took me about 25 years to build up the courage to watch the film. So I've seen it since.
But you didn't shoot this film, right?
I didn't shoot that one.
No, okay, please.
I
Okay,
wish.
everybody knows that's on the QT, right?
Yeah.
Like, I believe in this.
Yeah. So films like King of New York, Bad Lieutenant, to me, they make me feel like I've been picked by the collar and
Yeah.
forced into a world, and I love that about the work that you do. So it's not so much of a question, it's more of a thank you.
All right, great, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah. Who else has something to say besides how great I am?
You're great.
I gotta prove it all night, bro. Every day. Prove it every day.
What I liked about that was Christopher Walken, what he said about acting.
Right.
And for me, one of the best scenes in any movie in terms of performance is Keitel's performance in Bad Lieutenant.
Right.
And I wondered if you'd talk about the process of working with actors and how maybe Christopher Walken differs from Harvey Keitel in that
Well,
respect.
you can tell how Chris differs from Harvey. The bottom line is, you see these guys here, we just show up at his house. I haven't seen Chris Walken in fucking 100 years, a long time. I haven't seen him in 10, 12 years at least. But you roll up and there you have a shot, hey, take the car. Right from the get, he's not some spaced out fucking jerk. He's like, this is where you park the car, back it in, because he knew if you back the car in, the equipment comes out easy. Put the guys over here, put this over here, where we're gonna go, you want coffee, sit down, calm, cool, not, crazy, like I can be, totally chill, totally cool, sits down, has no idea what we're gonna talk about, not worried about what we're gonna talk about. He's worried about it at the moment, we're gonna talk to him. And then he just talks, and he's fucking awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right? I mean, it's not just me that thinks that. Otherwise I wouldn't have put it out. It's like, wow, this is motherfucking talking. Now I'm thinking, let's come up here and shoot. Well, I said it in the movie, right? That scene's in there where I talk about, I want to come up here, we make the movie,
Yeah.
we're an actor. Is that in there? Because I'm afraid I don't
Yeah.
know if I should write cut.
Yeah.
Where I'm saying, I want to do a film that's not based on a script, that's based on the process. We start shooting scenes, we go to the next scene, but try to get a film like that financed. And they're gonna, but whatever. So, anyway, Keitel's the same way. You're dealing with very interesting people, or intelligent people who have a thing. Now, they got a look too. Nobody looks like him. Right? I mean, he's just got a look. I mean, that's God-given. So, so you got to have them both going. Who's? Anybody? Get it.
On that note of process, I'm interested how you work on set. If you find the performance more in rehearsal, if you're finding on set, You find the shots on set, or if you storyboard everything out?
Yeah, it all starts from the minute we start thinking about it. You know, I mean, if I think about something, I'm thinking about the shot, right? I'm seeing it from a perspective. The rehearsal starts when I talk to the actor about what I'm going to do. You know, right now, I've been working with Defoe. I'm talking to him before I'm going to write something. You know, I'm thinking, it's not like I'm going to sit there and write some, you know, a whole fucking thing in my head and then go find an actor. You know, it doesn't work like that for me anymore. You know, I'm with him, we got it, you know, I start thinking shit, he might come up with something to kick us off. Like I'm telling him up, but he wouldn't fall for it walking. I says, what do you got in your mind? What you thinking of something? You reading something? You know, so I'm telling you, you know, you thinking of something, you're reading something, you feel like going in a direction, let's, you know, go. You know, and so it begins in that process. Then it starts writing. I give the guys the pages as I'm writing. You know, we start thinking about it, give it to the editors involved. You know, the editor doesn't come in after everything's shot and done and like, hi, I'm the editor. Hi, I'm the director. It don't work like that, man. It's like a group effort. Everybody's in, everybody's focused. You got different things you're doing. Certain things go, certain things get financed. Certain things don't. You know, and then the financing, in a sense, is part of the process of making the film. You know, because he's choosing the things he could see and buy into. You know, so, and set is the same. You know, by the time you get to the set to shoot, you gotta be shooting. You know, it's not a place for conversation unless you need to have the conversation. Then you gotta be, you know, strong enough and have the will to say, okay, we don't know what we're doing, which is a tough thing for the, you know. It's not in the director's DNA. You know, I had to learn how to say that, you know. The last thing everybody wants to hear is the director say, I don't really know what, you know, like the director, no matter what, even if you don't know what the fuck is going on, put the camera over there, you know. Like, you don't know, but you know, so the idea to say, but it's not time, you know, when you get there and everybody's there like, yeah, everybody's ready to go to talk, walking, stomping. He had no idea what I'm going to fucking ask him. You know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of thing. All right. Steven, you got to...
I was just thinking about in The Addictions, a lot more classical music, and then in King of New York and stuff is more hip-hop. So how do you go about getting the music together? And
No, but actually, in King of New York, we were using Vivaldi, so there was like Vivaldi. It was unbelievable when we started mixing the Vivaldi against the Schoolie D, you know, the hardcore rap, how it fucking played against each other. You would never think in a million years that you know, that those, you know, those intervals, that music, you know, the Vivaldi piece would play right on it when you just lay these things right on top of each other, two most opposite things, Vivaldi and Schoolie D.
yeah,
You couldn't think of two opposite things, but they're like, it was a mind-blowing how well they meshed. So.
another thing I was thinking, you know, the sequel to Bad Lieutenant, first that I heard about that,
Yeah.
was really exciting, but obviously it's completely different to the
The
original.
Herzog, you talk about the Herzog deal.
Sorry, say again,
So
sir?
Herzog's Bad Lieutenant, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Bad Lieutenant and the sequel.
Nick Cage.
Yeah, so I just wondered
Nick Cage.
how you felt about the sequel.
You know, I had nothing to do with it, and you know, at the time, I was like put off by it, but I didn't. But you know, Werner Herzog is like, he's a hero of mine. You know, I love his shit. You know, and then about 2 or 3 years ago, I finally met him. You know, and he says, man, I said, listen, dude, it's okay. I'm like, I got no problem. And I think the guy thought I was going to strangle him. You know, because I said some really nasty shit about these guys. And not knowing anything, you know, the typical thing, I'm going off the fucking rail on a guy. And he says to me, I never meant that film to be called Bad Lieutenant. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. And the producers at the end, Pressman, changed the title on that. So he's saying, it had nothing to do with your film. And I kept saying, it's cool, boss. He goes, no, I want you to hear me out. So, you know, we got screwed by this producer. I got, you know, me and my guys got screwed by it in a way. And you know, bottom line is I'm going to work with Nick Cage on my next film. So, you know, all's well that ends well. But I don't know, I've never seen it. I'm not, you know. Yeah, we all they totally convinced me the microphone is the way to go.
So, can you tell us what you're working on at the minute?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm working on 2 films. I'm working on a film called Siberia that we've been putting together for a couple of years. Siberia is a metaphor, okay? It's a film based on, it just came to me in kind of not a dream, but in a way, because we were working with Carl Jung's Red Book in terms of using the unconscious, right? And talking about dreams, memory, the difference between an event, the memory of an event, and a dream, you know. But it's also a real film set in the snow, set with dog sleds, very Jack London-esque. And it's hard to explain, but it's like a Ulysses trip. Willem Dafoe, again, is the lead. Okay, the hook of the film is, you know, I've done 4 movies with Willem, so instead of him playing a character, is everybody following this? You're not bored? Okay. Instead of him playing a character, like he just did Pasolini with me, the character, the essence of the character is Willem himself. All right? And we started from, he's never been to a psychiatrist, okay? But we started with, one of my writers is a doctor. And we started with therapy, you know, psychiatric sessions. And we started getting to the unconscious and his, you know, trying to get at the inner self, you know. And, you know, his conflicts, like most of us, is with his mother, his father, and the woman who is the mother of his baby that he split with after 30 years, all unresolved issues. So within this like journey, like Ulysses' journey on dog sled, is, you know, scenes of actual events that Willem from his past, his interaction with his mother, you know, with his father. You know, with Defoe, his father was a great surgeon. His uncle was a world-renowned surgeon for giving birth to sextuplets or something like this, you know what I mean? So he was always expected to be a doctor, his brother's a doctor. So even though he's a big movie star, in the eyes of his father, there's a lot of conflict about what he expected from his son and what his son is doing, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get at the heart of all this. So, something like this is not easy, again, to raise money, but we're doing it in Italy. I think we're going to shoot in February, but we've been working on putting it together for like 3 years, the writing. But it's with Isabelle Huppert and Nick Cage. And, okay, so then I'm doing another, did everybody see 444, Last Day on Earth? No? Okay. All right, that's a film I made. It's a simple film. I'm thinking about doing a very simple film about my life in Rome. Willem lives in Rome too, so it's like an American living in a foreign city. You know, living there, the language, you know, you could say, where's the bathroom, and let me have, you know, spaghetti arrabbiata, but try to have a conversation on a philosophical level, forget it. So, it's about marriage, it's about having a child. It's a very kind of documentary, but there's again, you know, keep working on the dream thing. I'm working on scenes of like what is and how you perceive things to be. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to use the cinema, which it naturally does, and you know, just go outside. But that's a small budget film that we're going to shoot simply in Rome.
Abel, tell us about, you want to talk about the projectionist?
That's another more conversation.
Abel,
Yeah.
you want to talk to us about, you were telling me yesterday about that film, The Projectionist, that you were working on.
Yeah, you know,
I
like,
don't know if you want to talk about it or not.
I mean, you guys want to hear about it. You know, anyway, I've been doing documentaries. I did a documentary called Piazza Vittorio, which is about immigration in Rome, in the neighborhood I live in. Again, did you ever see Mulberry Street when I lived in downtown New York? And we always end up shooting a film. We made a film called, about a documentary about the Chelsea Hotel. You know, it always ends up wherever we're living, we shoot a documentary about it. But I've done like 3 documentaries, and you know, again, the new feature's like a documentary, but I also met a guy who was a projectionist who this is an immigration story, but a reverse. Because Piazza Vittorio is about the Africans, the, you know, Mid-Easterners, Indians, the whole deal that come, Chinese, that come to Rome and trying to survive in the street. But surviving with no, you know, it's a negative deal there. You know, there's really not employment, there's a lot of angst, and basically most of these immigrants are refugees. This is an American success story. Kid comes from Cyprus, Greece, to New York City. He's 10 years old. 15 years old, he's working in movie theaters, 1975, which is like when I began in New York, and was like the height of going to the movies. There was no video, there was no video at all, nothing. Whatever you wanted to watch, you had to buy a ticket and watch it in the movie, or even pornography. If you wanted to see pornography, you had to buy a ticket, sit there with everybody else and watch it. And actually pornography was doing as well as the Hollywood movies, you know. But it always does, you know, even on the internet it does. But this guy, it chronicles his life from 1975 to today. And, you know, he went from selling tickets to showing movies to running theaters, owning the buildings that theaters are. And the ironic part is, I learned all this during the course of us shooting. You know, I'm thinking this is just a guy who showed movies, it's called a projectionist. I didn't realize he's like, you know, bigger than Donald Trump in the end. But anyway, it's a movie about movies, and about, you know, even my journey through the kind of films, because we're using a lot of film clips from the craziest movies you've ever seen. You know, normal Hollywood movies, crazy movies, gay porno films, you know, violent action films, and my films are in there too, because, you know, we made all those films. You know, our journey was kind of that same journey. You know? Anyway, I don't know when we're going to be finished, but we'll cut now.
What's your favourite film out of the ones that you've made?
Yeah, I can't. You know, it just doesn't work like that, because it's hard to discern. Go ahead.
So a lot of your films are set in New York, like in particular,
Right.
in New York. So I was wondering why you decided to use like a Philly rapper to kind of embody the sound of that one.
Well, he was like the original gangster rapper, you know, and I was listening to music. I didn't know he came from Philly. This was back in like the late 80s, so, I mean, rap was there, rap was out, but I was like then getting focused into it. And I love rap music from the very beginning. And still, it's probably my favorite, you know, other than American Blues and Dylan and the Rolling Stones, and John Lennon. It's like, that's my thing. You know, I really dig the rap. And it was just, his music just connected to me big time. And then, you know, we tracked him down. There was a whole story trying to find the guy. It was like trying to find Robert Johnson or something. You know, like everybody knew of him, they'd seen, but then it became like no one had actually seen him. You know what I'm saying? Does this guy even exists? You know, it was very crazy trying to, you know, because these guys came from a place where they grew up, they didn't even know a fucking white person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking, the first time I talked to him, I told him 15 minutes about the music thing, and at the end of the conversation, he says, oh, by the way, are you white? Anyway, but we become great friends, you know, and working. All right, somebody got something brilliant, intelligent? Want to talk about the film festival? You want to talk about the film festival? No. All right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are we ever likely to see a cut of Bad Lieutenant with the original score?
That's a tough one, man. Yeah, that's a tough one. Every once in a while I see it. There's some prints in, you know, because we had to take the Schoolie D song off of it, right? Because Schoolie D, you want to hear the story about Schoolie D? All right. He had a song called Signifying Rapper, right? And it's like, he took Jimmy Page's lick, like, you know, Cashmere, okay. I I never was a big fan of Led Zeppelin. Like I said, I'm a Stones guy. I'm not quite a Led Zeppelin guy, right? I mean, it was a cool song, I guess, but Schooley took just that lick and spun it in this incredible way, you know, and then he started rapping. The song starts, he's going, what does he say? I can't start this song until I put my shades on. It says, because there used to be a law, you can't be cool, but he's saying his own words. There used to be a law, you can't be cool without your shades on. And it's still a law. Okay? So I'm going to put my shades on so I can see what you're not doing. And he said, once upon a time in the ghetto deep. All right, so Schooley's thinking back, all the songs always start with, once upon a time. You know, but these, once upon a time in the ghetto deep, the badass pimp stepped on the signifying rapper's feet. The rapper said, damn, somebody's stepping on my feet. The badass pimp said, short, I didn't hear a word you said. You say it again, I'll stand on your fucking head. Okay? Then he goes to like other realms of incredible poetry for me. He spins a story that is mind blowing. Okay, the song came out 5 years, nobody bothered, nobody cared about it. Right? This was when the legal issue of using music and rap. We put it in Bad Lieutenant as the only song in Bad Lieutenant. There's no music in Bad Lieutenant. When this comes up, it's a monster moment of image and sound. No music at all, no scoring at all, and then Schooley screamed. Film is done, the film is out, everything is fine. Jimmy Page sees the movie. Okay? You know. Okay. Nothing against Jimmy Page. I understand. He says, that's my lick. Why is it in that movie? And these guys have some serious lawyers. And the next minute, Schooley is in court. Okay? And they're playing Kashmir against signifying rapper, if you could believe this, to a 75-year-old judge. I wish I was there at this. This is a federal court in New York. And they basically, we had to take every copy, video copy of this film was taken out of the stores and burnt, and we had, you know, well, I just said, fuck, we're not putting any music at all. And then, you know, in it. But, now, you know, I don't have to denigrate Jimmy Page, because I understand the fact that, you know, it's his lick, somebody's doing a song with his lick. Okay, why he didn't have a problem with it when the song was out on the street for 5 years. Or why the fact that every guitar lick he ever fucking played he stole from Robert Johnson. You know, when they say that, you know, they say, yeah, I heard all those licks, dude. Only some black guy was playing in Mississippi, and he didn't get 5 fucking cents for it, so. But anyway.
What's weird about it is it was shown on British TV with the original.
With Schooley?
Yeah, it was on a thing called Movie Drone, which was like, I think they cut it back together, and they got permission to show it, so I did have a VHS copy years ago.
Does anybody want to go? You want to talk about your festival? Anybody want to get a few words here? Give my go. Yeah, say a few words. Give them.
Sit down and go.
Thank you. Talk about being put on the spot. I just want to say what an honour it is to have you here, Abel. I think it's a really, really big deal. Not just
Thank you for inviting me, really.
But not just for the festival. I think for the northeast. You know, the whole thing the festival's trying to do is to provide an opportunity for our region to experience and actually engage and interact with people like yourself, role models, to be able to share firsthand how you've done within your career, you know, and actually be given the opportunity not just to see films. And yeah, of course we're going to see the film tomorrow that we were meant to see today, but I think it's worked out even better because we've just got to see something that we would never get to see. So, you know, I'm sure I speak for everyone in this room. it's actually worked out to be an absolute treat. And to have someone like yourself, you know, who's made so many movies, and I was sat here yesterday with the late Om Puri's wife, and actually we grew up as part of a household where we related with the likes of East is East and things like that. And similarly, you know, the movies that you've directed, the movies that you've produced, it's part of growing up. And you feel as if you've got a connection with people like yourself through your movies, and you develop a relationship. And I think what you've done is you've enhanced that relationship on behalf of everyone. So, you know, for me, I'm so proud to be part of the film festival. I'm so proud to be from the Northeast, and it's absolutely wonderful to welcome someone like you here and to celebrate with people from so many different sort of communities, so many different backgrounds, because what you do is this type of thing brings everyone together, and I think that's a really big deal. So, you know, on behalf of the film festival, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone else in this room, thank you ever so much.
Filmmakers in the room. I mean, when you're making a film, you're speaking in a language. I know this film was all talking, and we all speak English, or we all have our own English that we speak. Northeast has their own English, and you know, my part of New York City has their own English, but we get it. But the real idea of making movies is we're speaking in a universal language. We're using just the images. We're getting back to just shooting the images and the music. Then it's a global language, you know. Then we're like really connecting to everybody, man. And everybody understands that, you know, that language. And you know, the beautiful thing of a movie is you learn the language of that movie by watching it. You know, each movie could be different, each movie's separate. When you were a little kid, I remember the first movie I saw was Bambi. And a room full like this almost, with little folding chairs. Hey, it scared the shit out of me. We were underneath these chairs. I've never seen a movie. And we're all these like 5-year-olds. But the idea that I learned the language of the cinema from the movie. As I'm watching Bambi, I got it until the moment that, you know, the mother's on, I forget what it is, the mother's on fire. And, you know, some crazy, horrible thing for a young kid to see, you know. But the point is, it's a universal deal, man, and that's what's beautiful about it. It's not, it's a connecting thing. And then the expression of the film, because these films don't exist unless there's an audience. Because when I came here, 10 minutes before we started, there wasn't a person in this room. I mean, without an audience, there is no movie. The movie does not exist. I don't have a great movie. There's no great movies. It's the experience that we watch the film. It happens once. You can see this, you might love this movie. 5 years from now, you could watch this and say, what the fuck are these guys talking about? It's a bunch of bullshit, right? I mean, many times I see films, I hate it. And then 10 years later, I'm watching again and go, oh, man, I missed the whole fucking point. You know, the movies change, the experience changes. You know, but in this documentary I'm doing about the projectionist, the guy, okay, he was able to use the film business to make a fortune. He's still in the theater every day because he is addicted to the idea of a movie theater and a film being projected and a group watching it, okay? That's pretty powerful, you know. I could get isolated. I could watch shit on my computer. I could see it like, that's fine, put the headsets on, watch it and say, oh, I got it, you know. But there's a different, you know, aesthetic. You know, there's a different communal deal. You know, movies are movies, you know. And, yeah, it's crazy. Anybody got something? Is this it? I mean, somebody want to make a final statement, sum anything up?
Well, I just want to thank you for being here.
Yeah, I know, Steve. Thank you. Now he's got the man with the beer back there. Good.
I was interested. I'm born 19 obsessed with like the neo-Nazi era, and I'm just interested kind of, because John Killer was one of the, you know, main proponents of that entire thing, and I'm just interested to kind of hear what you have to say about how that was at the time.
Say, repeat the beginning of that, what you just said.
Sorry?
Start from the beginning. Somebody translate this.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
there you go. Go ahead. Okay, you start at the beginning. Just ask the question again.
Yeah,
I got the, I'm going to work up on this again.
Yeah, so like, I'm really obsessed with the video nasty era.
The what?
Video nasties.
With video nasties.
Oh, video nasties. Oh, I got you. What, the real hardcore violent?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What does it do for you? What do you get out of it? I mean, really, okay, so why though? Why?
I don't know, there's something about it, the whole era, like just, I wrote a dissertation on it at uni, like it was...
So it's not just the violence, because you can see violence now.
It's not violence at all,
It's not just violence.
it's the fact that people are so fucking, were so pissed off about it.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? And like...
Because I think the people making the film were so pissed off. You know, like when I see The Driller Killer now, it's like, what the fuck are you so angry about, dude? You know, it was like 1977, it was a punk era, you know, it was like we were right there, you know, and it was like, I don't know what it was, you know, I was young, angry, delusional, yeah, drug and alcohol addict. I was pissed off at everybody, and myself, I was pissed off at the world, you know. And we invented it, and then we had a, I don't know, man, you know, it seemed like, it seems strange now, but I understand it. It's from its time, you know what I mean? And it's about that, and you see 1970s, you know, in our films, we're shooting the street. We're not shooting Hollywood extras. We're not, you know what I mean? We're not doing anything to the street. You know, you got the people, the actors in the foreground, but in the background, that's a sociological film. You know, that is the way it was. We didn't change anything, you know. And that's more interesting than the shit we have in the foreground. You know, this dopey shit we got talking to each other and actors acting and all this crap. You look, I watch these films, I look in the background and go, wow, look at these cars, look at these freaks, look at these weird people. Like you were saying about New York, right? When he first came to New York in 1970, the same period, he gets off the boat, he's in the Navy. They drop him off on 42nd Street. Can you imagine this? Some fucking kid in the Navy gets off the boat, starts walking from the Hudson River towards Times Square. I mean, that's a movie right there. And he loved it though. You know, everybody else would run back to the boat. Yeah. Anyway.
Do you think you've mellowed with age?
I hope so. No, I feel that, you know, I tell you the truth, I feel like I'm in the same place. I want to make movies. I feel like I got shit I want to do. I'm like, you know, I can still do it. You know what I mean? I'm raring to go.
This is a broad question, so forgive me. But I'm interested in your relationship to the image of Jesus Christ, which seems somewhat central to...
Yeah, what did Richard Pryor say? I know Jesus from the ghetto. You know, I'm a Buddhist now, and I was a Catholic. You know, I was raised a Catholic, and I was raised in that, the whole, and I bought into it, it was my thing. And even when you're an atheist, or you rebel against the church, you're still buying into it. You get it. You get there was, you know, a creation. Someone's responsible for it. You're in the image of the Creator, and you know this is the deal. But when you're a Buddhist, there is no Creator. Okay, so in the philosophy, it is. And this is something you know. My Buddhist friend says this. You'll understand this in the next life. But the point is, there is no beginning. There is no non-beginning. Okay, I don't know exactly what that means, but what that does mean is there's no Creator. Okay, so don't worry about the creation. Okay, that's not relevant. And don't worry about, you know, Buddha was a living man. Okay, you know, like Bob Marley said, the Almighty God was a living man. Was Buddha, Muhammad, Okay, so then in 2005, about 10, 12, 15 years ago, I made a film called Mary, where I went to Jerusalem. And I really went, man. It was like a mind-blowing experience for me, you know, being, you know, brought up a Catholic. At that point, I couldn't shoot up me, you know. I'd wear a crucifix, you know, I'd pray that my drug dealer would show up. Okay, so that's not exactly spiritual life. You know, holding a crucifix and shit, I hope he shows up, man. Okay, that's not how it works, okay? But I stood there, you know, right where it was going to happen, you know, or it was supposed to happen. And it didn't happen on a hill someplace. They didn't crucify these guys. These movies got so fucked up. They didn't crucify somewhere in the middle of it. They crucified these guys right at the train. In fact, the new movie I'm making, we're going to crucify Willem, because he was in Last Temptation of Christ, and in the movie he plays an actor. And this is like, I want to use images from Last Temptation. But I also want to crucify him at the train station, because that's where they crucified these guys, basically. On the road into town. Like, so when you enter Jerusalem, like, there's these three guys nailed to a cross, okay? You know, naked and nailed to a cross. And the message is like, hey guys, it's Passover, have a good time, visit your family, you know? You think you're gonna rob shit, you think you're gonna fucking talk shit, you're gonna end up there. You know what I mean? Because whether we're the Jews in town or whether we're the Romans that run it, it's like justice is 100% and 100% lethal. And that's where it's at. And so when I started seeing the idea of Jesus also as a revolutionary, seeing the book as a revolutionary text, the idea was a real man. Now, I don't believe there's no God. I don't believe in that. You know, the God is in your heart. Buddha is not a God. Okay, he's a brilliant guy. Jesus obviously was a brilliant, you know, if you buy into that's his work. No matter who wrote it, somebody wrote it. You know, Muhammad the same. Whoever. There's a lot of brilliant guys. You know, Einstein, you know, Stanley Kubrick. I mean, there's millions of brilliant guys. You know, and so that's how I feel. You know, living in Rome, which is it. There's more atheists in Rome than anywhere in the world. I live right, I can see the Vatican, you know, so. Is this a big Catholic town? What's the religion here? No. Yeah. Guinness is the fucking religion here. Yeah, and bars of the church. Pubs of the churches. Anyway, go ahead. Yes.
I was going to ask a very similar thing because I'm Irish Catholic, so you know, I think
I'm half Irish, so.
So I was just going to ask about how Catholicism informs your films, but it's already done. So.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it is what it is, but right now I'm a practicing Buddhist. So, as a Buddhist,
how was that affected your filmmaking?
What?
How was that affected your filmmaking?
That's a good question. You know, I think the meditation has helped me a lot. You know, I mean, for me, my spiritual moment was stopping to drink and stopping to use drugs. So between that and then the meditation, I think has gotten me to the point that I can think a little straighter. You know what I mean? Just be able to focus in on. But you know, I'm not changing. You know what I mean? Because you know, this was the delusion of the drugs and alcohol for me. I was totally deluded that. Can you hear me? Yeah. I was totally deluded that I needed that to, like, even to stand here and talk. I could never do this. Like, you know, it was like, you know, that 3-card game they play on the street, like, you know, it's like flip over the red card, flip over the black. You know, my life was like a 3-card Monte game of like, you know, beer, yeah, got down to just like beer, cocaine, heroin. So something like this would be, well, a little heroin, a little less beer, a little cocaine. You know, you're gonna write scripts, a little more cocaine. You're gonna be on set, you're gonna be with a girl, you're gonna talk in a bar, you're gonna do this. Everything was like a magic act of my delusion that I needed all these things till I couldn't do anything without them. You know, and so once that delusion was broken, then I realized these have no power, that I have all this power. I could stand here and talk like I am, talking non-stop. Okay? Okay, so we had espresso, which is another drug. All right, fine. I'll take that. An espresso and water, okay. But that, I don't have that. You know what I mean? And for me, that's like liberating. I mean, it's liberating in a good way for you. So, you know. But the films are a mystery, man. I got like every time I'm approaching a new film, it's just such a mystery to me. They're so different, every one of them. This one here, you know, every one. So it's like we go to it with everything we know, everything we've learned, but a lot of that means nothing. Because you start a film and it's all like you're in a foreign country, you know, and everybody has to, you know, but you know it's a sacred act. I just, you know, I just buy, you know, the cinema has always been for me. And I don't go to a lot of movies, and I'm not really big on movies. I read, you know, reading has been always a big thing since I was small. It taught me that. Okay, so you want to knock the nuns, I can put down those, but they taught me an appreciation of books, reading things. And, but I believe in cinema as a sacred act. The watching of it. You know, this is the church, man. You know, this is where it's a sacrament. And if you believe in it and you do it for all the right reasons, and this is what, you know, I've been hearing nonstop for the last 2 days, right? It hits, HITS, what is it? What's the...
Honesty, integrity, and transparency.
Okay, honesty, integrity, transparency.
It's working again.
All right, good. I'm done with this.
Yeah, sorry, I was interested. For you, what in your mind is the greatest film of all time?
You know, again, it's those are impossible questions because it changes. I've seen it. You know, who knows? You know, I don't see really films as, you know, competing like that. You know, there's times I'm at a place to see a film, and it's a magical experience for me. You know, so you know, they're great filmmakers. I think it's obvious, but there's so many of them. If you say one, you miss the other. Who's you want? But what's your favorite, greatest film of all time?
Yeah, A Hero of God is the best film of all time.
By a mile or just by a little bit? And it's the best film, like the second, who comes in second place is here, or it's...
I've just picked it.
Yeah, I think
it's a little bit better than 2001. It's a little bit better than what? Lolita. No.
I don't know, it's just, yeah. Watch that film.
Sherlock Jr.
It's just, it's...
All right, so we'll screen it. Yeah, pull it out. We'll show it tomorrow instead of The Addiction.
Just quickly to talk a little bit about another of your films. One of my favourite films of yours is Miss 45. And to me it stands out in that period we talked about the kind of video nasty era and the violence and all that. That film for me stands out because it's got such a strong female lead. And it is a brutal film, but the last section of the film is, I find it really beautiful to watch. The imagery is really beautiful. And I don't know if you would agree or not, whether it was in your mind when you made it, but I always kind of view it as almost a female counterpart to Taxi Driver. I was just wondering what your motivations were when you made that film at the time.
I think it was, you know, the screenwriter wrote it, Nicky, who wrote The Addiction, wrote that film, you know. I mean, it came from him. I mean, it was the time of big, you know, right after the women's movement in the 70s, which was a big, powerful deal now, and the reaction to that. And then Zoe, you know, she was 17 years old, and she you know, delivered it, you know, just shows how the actor takes a film to that next level, man. You know, embodied.
It seems very relevant. It seems like a very relevant film to now, like watch the Oscars this year and all the kind of Me Too stuff and all that.
Yeah.
It seems like
strong. You know, I mean, That's Meredith. You want to say something to wrap this all up?
Thank you, Abel. I'm actually in the business where he gave me my first acting job. Got my Screen Actors card because of this guy. My first 3 films were with Abel. So I feel like him coming here for the first time, me coming here for the first time, first festival in some way, for me personally, it's like a full circle thing. A transformation of time. A reinvention of both of ourselves is happening. Look out for our next film. Thank you again to the Newcastle Film Festival and everyone.
Okay.
I'm filming Abel, filming somebody else. My dream.
Thank you.